Right there. Back over there. Now. Say timber. Timber. So these logs are too heavy to pull to where I've been doing the other ones. So all I do is I put a V-notch on a stump, so that way when I pick the tree up, it'll set in that, kind of wedge itself in, so it won't roll off so easy. Now I gotta try to pick this super heavy tree up. Well, got a small problem. There we go.
Scares me. I can get that and it's in blue.
Perfect.
Okay.
So I cut this one at 20 foot so that I could have an option of using it as one of my 20-foot roof pieces, roof poles, or whatever they're called. I don't know if I'm going to use this one or not. I don't know if it's big enough for what I wanted, but it might be fine. I also don't know if it's straight enough. I need them pretty straight. I got a few logs cut and peeled, a couple more 20-footers. They're going to be used for my roof, so they're important that they're long and straight and can carry a load. I experimented a couple different ways trying to get the wood back from where I cut it down to where we're stacking them up. Tried the come along method and it worked pretty well. It just was very time consuming, and honestly I don't know how much it saved my like my back or whatever, because I was bending over the whole time. The other method was just with the picaroon. Not totally sure if that's what it's called. That's what I've seen it called. I can't remember when I bought it if that's what it was, but it this works really well. What you do is you hit it into the wood and it sticks and it kind of holds on, and you can pull it up and to the side. This kind of pivots. It's really good for moving logs around. So I think that was probably easier, to be honest. It's about 5 o'clock. It's Saturday, September 9th. It was about 40 degrees last night and it rained quite a bit. So that probably means I got a lot of snow up in the mountains. So it's creeping its way down. I got to cut more trees down. I don't know how many I have. Maybe 15, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to count. Right now you got a couple trees balancing, ready to fall. So I'm trying to get these two to fall together because they're kind of tangled. But I have to be careful. All right, well, I got to call that successful. I fell 3 trees at once. I'd already fallen 2 other ones. Now I have a lot more open of an area to fall trees as I need to, less likely to catch on to other trees. So yeah, I couldn't be more happy with that. That was ideal, to say the least. Well, I believe that's going to do it for my 20 footers. I got 5 20 plus footers that are relatively straight. No rod in them whatsoever. My top one, my biggest one, my lightest one is going to be the ridge pool, or my ridge log. It's going to go at the peak where everything else for the roof is laid off of. Then it's going to go down from there. It'll be the next biggest side for the 2 ones next to it. And then finally the smallest ones are going to be the ones that are actually resting on top of my wall logs. It's hard work to do all this, you know. You put a lot of work in it, a lot of effort. Little disappointed that I waited so long. I wish I would have thought about this better. And I would have cut down these trees as soon as the snow started to melt, so they could have had the whole summer drying, but I didn't think about it. Wasn't planning on building it until a few weeks ago, really. So because of that, I can't let these, or I can't build this throughout the winter. I'm just gonna have to let these logs dry, which is all right. Just means I gotta wait a whole another winter, whole year before I get to start spending some time in this in the winter time, which is really what I'm looking forward to. Being by a nice hot stove in a freezing cold, well below zero day and evening, staying warm. The squirrels are loving this. Squirrels and the rabbits and everybody. The amount of, not pine cones, but like spruce cones, if that's what they're called, that are fresh, that they've been able to get, like the bunnies and stuff, been able to get stored up. It's pretty funny. They usually have to wait until they all fall down, which I don't know if it's a better or worse quality. I have no idea, but maybe they're just excited to have them now. But yeah, my back's sore, that's for sure. It's all right. Your body gets used to hard work. I used to pour concrete, and I was constantly bending over, and it was as strong as my back ever was. Figure out the next logs I'm cutting. I have a few smaller logs that I need to peel, but yeah. I think I have probably 18 logs peeled. I'd have to double count to check that, but yeah, it's a nice feeling to at least know I have all my 20 footers. Those ones I were kind of stressing about because, like I said, they got to be relatively straight, and I think I got pretty good specimens. I think it's gonna look pretty well. The more I look around now, though, the more trees I see that would have been pretty suitable. So I don't know. I shouldn't have probably stressed about it. I'm sure it'd have been fine. I was kind of thinking about what I'm going to do for the roof too. Dick Prinicky, when he built his cabin, he used spruce poles, and I think he must have had close to 100 of them on top. I can't remember. But so I've been thinking about it lately, how I should handle this. They cleared a power line not too far, a power line cut not too far from us, and all the spruce and stuff they cut up and burnt, or sorry, cut up. But there's a lot of cottonwood that's still laying around, and what I'm thinking about doing is getting that cottonwood, peeling the bark off, and then getting a rip saw, hand saw, and ripping the boards into pieces of wood and use that as my lumber that I'm gonna span my roof poles with. I think if I did that, it would save me having to cut and peel hundreds of smaller spruce trees, but at the same time I'm gonna have to sit there and hand saw dozens of large cottonwood trees. My estimation is that I could probably saw a 12-foot long log in half in probably about 20 minutes. Cottonwood's a pretty soft wood. There's not a bunch of knots in it. And I think if I have a good sharp saw and some wedges and make sure that it doesn't pinch on my blade, I should be able to saw the length of it in probably 20 minutes. And then from that, I'll rip additional boards, like I said, 2 whole inches thick, and use that to span my poles or my roof logs. And then on top of that, I would build that's what I'd put my roofing material on. So I think that would work well. I have to see how suitable those logs are. They could be garbage also, I don't know.